Hey, hello again. This is Tom Miller with another chapter from Todd Whitaker's What Great Principles Do Differently. And I hope you are. I'm thoroughly enjoying reading this book. So we're up to chapter 14. And chapter 14, I just love this. It is about who is the most comfortable and who is the least comfortable. And I'll tell you right off the bat, I just love this model because I can relate to it so much, not necessarily from a professional standpoint, but a personal standpoint. As many of you know, I'm a recovering addict, and when I was in 90-day programs, I mean, you talk about surrounding yourself with other people, right, who are like-minded, who have that great ability to make you uncomfortable or comfortable. And the only way that you can create change in human beings, I believe, is to first you have to change their behavior, right? And once you change their behavior, then you change their overall belief, right? So when you are working with teachers, you certainly want to work on their behaviors. And their behaviors could be lots of different things, from just professional behavior, whether it's their attitude, their coming to work on time, right? Just their overall professionalism, to their behavior in the classroom regarding planning, implementation, following up, their protocols, their systems. Because once you change the behavior, then they start to believe and see that it works, right? And you and I both know everything works when implemented with 100% fidelity. Everything works. Every program, everything will work as long as it's implemented correctly. So I just love that Todd continues to talk about in this book that making decisions based upon your best teachers is the most important, right? So having that consistency across the board, making decisions based upon the best. Every decision you just ask, how is this going to impact my best teacher, right? Visualize that best teacher before being reactionary and writing that memo or making that new policy. How is this going to disrupt the autonomy of my best? And so again, Todd continues to tell great stories about this. So he turns this, into his landlord, right? He talks about his landlord friend, who anytime he had any tenants who didn't, he either didn't want or didn't like the way they were behaving, he would renovate, right? He would renovate to make the place nicer, not to try to coax them to be better, but to create that uncomfortableness, right? So either one or two things would happen. They would be so uncomfortable they would leave, or they would be so uncomfortable with the way they were behaving that they would change their behavior. So how do you do that in the classroom, right? How do you do that in your organization? What are some tips that you can think about right now? What are some ways that you've experienced? One way is changing the makeup, right? Changing the makeup of a grade level. Where if you're watching this live, it's May of 2017. So you're planning for next year. You're getting ready and planning for next year. So you can start to look at the makeup of your grade level teams and start taking those balkanized groups, right? Those cliques, and you start separating them, right? You create the uncomfortableness by putting those teachers in grade levels with your other best teachers, right? With your other ones that are definitely going to change their behavior style, because they're going to have to change and evolve. Otherwise, it's going to be quite obvious how not in sync they are. And remember, Whitaker taught us earlier that teachers who are ineffective, they don't necessarily know that they're ineffective. And the last thing that they want to do is to be told or shown that they are creating discomfort amongst their colleagues, right? Or that they're hurting feelings. So, you gradually start to move those processes, okay? Maybe you come in and you change the makeup of everybody's classroom, right? Or you pick two or three models from your most effective classrooms, and you say everybody needs to pick one of these three, right? You give them a choice, and you show them, and you have them explain how it works. You have the teachers vote, whatever it is. You start to create a different structure and different energy, right? It makes me think about Trading Places. If you've seen that great comedy with Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy back in the '80s, right? Those two old guys. I can't think of their brothers. That they had the bet over $1 that they could take Dan Aykroyd out of that environment, put him in a low income environment, and bring Eddie Murphy in and to see if it would change, right? But ultimately, it was the same thing. They were completely wrong because Eddie Murphy still had the morals and the character. And you know, all of your teachers, they wouldn't have gotten into education if they didn't have the morals and the character and the desire to be effective, right? It's amazing how many people we think they're out to not be good. It's impossible. Nobody's out not to be good. They just don't know how to be good. They don't know what it feels like. They don't know what it looks like. So it's your job to bring that out of them, right? Is to shape their behaviors and give them that time to adapt and get good. And then you'll know, right? You can wait that 1 year or 2 years as long as they're not really impeding the overall structure. So I'm really interested and curious to know how you felt about this. I'm gonna look at my notes real quick. Yeah. So it's about empowerment. That's just the last note that I have here on my board is empowering others to make the best choices based upon the high expectation structure that you create, right? And if you're not getting the behavior you desire to see, take a look at yourself, your communication, take a look at the practices that are in place, and make sure, and then remember, get that feedback from your best teachers to see how you can, without naming names, right? Because we don't call out ineffective teachers in front of our best teachers. We just ask them their opinion. What do you think it's going to take to really impact the culture next year? What do you think it's going to take to change the academics, right? To raise our daily time on task. Whatever it is, that initiative that you desire to see, surround yourself with those honest, respectful staff members that are going to give you the feedback that you desire. Hope this was helpful. Hope you're enjoying the book study, because I know I am. Looking forward to wrapping this up over the next couple weeks with you and your feedback on our call. Thanks and have a great day.